Hi, this is Eric with diffuserdoc.com, and in this video we're going to go over the procedure of replacing the ultrasonic disc in a Young Living Orb diffuser. So to begin, we're just going to go ahead and pop the diffuser open and set the base aside. Now the kit comes with a screwdriver and a replacement disc. I have one out here. One thing that you may need that we do not provide is a safety pin or something to get these. There are 4 little silicone plugs here, and you want to just use a pin or something sharp to pull, just kind of poke in a little bit and pull these out. And I usually just put them into the bottom here, and there are 4 screws underneath. So take these out, and I'll set my safety pin aside. We'll remove the wick, set that aside, and there are 4 screws here that we need to remove. I'll take the screwdriver and remove them. And this one you want to take your time with. We want to be careful to make sure that we watch the orientation of the parts as they go in and as they come out, and don't rush it. But it's a pretty simple repair. So we take these 4 screws out, and then we'll just make sure we get them all out. Okay. This one's being a little bit tough. Okay, so all 4 screws have been removed. I'll set them aside here. Don't lose them. Okay. Now, the best way to do this is to have the power button and the diffuser end facing away from you. So to keep your orientation, keep that pointed away and slide the base off. There's the 4th little screw. And the next thing that we want to do is we'll take a look at this is the ceramic disc where it plugs into the board, and what we need to do is remove these 2 screws to get it out of this little enclosure. Now when we put this back in, and when you remove this, notice this notch right here on the top. When you're putting this back in, that's kind of your guide to sliding this in, and then giving it a little bit of a twist to the left, and then that's positioned correctly. So I'm going to remove it again by twisting it a little bit, and I'm kind of pulling back, and this marker, this black mark here, is your orientation to make sure that this part faces the power button in the front when we put it back in. We'll go through that in a moment when we reinstall this. So the next thing I'm going to do is unplug the disc and take out these 2 screws, or at least just loosen them a little bit. You don't really need to take them out completely. I'll show you why. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take them all the way out. Just sort of leave that assembly hanging like that. And the replacement disc has a white side with a circle and a silver side. I want to make note of that. When we remove the disc here, you'll notice now this little white piece can pop out on you, so be careful to leave that in. You'll notice that the white side is facing out to the outside. So that's how we want to orient the new disc. So I want to gently remove the old disc and set it aside, and I'll take the new disc, place it in here, and you'll see there's a notch here for the wire. You could clean this area up a little bit, but there's a notch for the wire. So new disc in place, white side out, just like the other one. And I'm just going to show you real quick, but I recommend, you know, it's easier if this doesn't pop out on you, because there's also a small, there's a marker here for the wire on this ring as well, but this comes out. So if it pops out on you, not a big deal. Just make sure that one side is flat, the other side has a small notch. You want to keep that facing in the same direction, and that's where you want the wire to go. I have this side lined up and the wire in place, and kind of holding the disc in place while I line this all up. If it gets out on you, that's okay. Just there we go. So wiggle it in so that you have the wire lined up with the notch and nothing is pinching. And then we're going to go ahead and put these two screws back in with the circuit board. This one's a little bit tricky to do, but just take your time and stay organized, and you can easily repair this diffuser. So with these screws back in, you'd be really careful, don't over tighten. Everything on this diffuser is really delicate. It's easy to over tighten screws and then crack some of this plastic, but I think we're good there. Now the next thing that we want to do is position this back into place, and just as we took it out, we want to use this notch as a guide and have it facing forward to help slide this behind this circuit board in the back and past here. And there's also these two little nubs that stick up back here. That's the guide. That's what the back of this rests on right here. So when I place this in here, I'm going behind the circuit board, using this as a guide, going behind those two little nubs in the back, and then twisting it to the left so that this black marker faces to the front towards the switch. And it'll actually kind of stop right there when it's in place. Once this is in place, you can plug the disc back in. Don't forget. This only goes in one direction. There's a little raised edge here in the center on this, and you'll see there's a small notch right here, and that's the direction that this connector needs to plug back in. Okay, and you'll hear a little click or feel a little snap when it pops in. So New disc is in place. It's plugged in. Everything feels good. Take a look at the front. It looks good. And now we're ready to put the base back on. And then we just want to line that up and kind of keeping an eye on these 4 screw holes and kind of looking through to make sure we're lining up with the holes on the other side. So keep an eye out through these holes and make sure you're lining up with the screw holes on the other side, and if you have it right, everything will look and fit flush. So you can take a look around, everything looks good here. I'm going to go ahead and put these screws back in. I think for this demonstration I'm just going to put 2 in real quick, and we'll put the I'll put some of the silicone seals back in, and we'll just give it a test. Get some water in here. With this one, I like to just prime the wick a little bit, and it helps it to get started, especially if you have a new wick. We do carry these wicks on our site. It's in the same section where this orb is. So I'm going to install the wick, and let's see here. In. Yep. Okay. And I'll put. Remember, hands are slippery. So remember the silicone plugs that we took out earlier. Just put them back in. They're a little bit dome shaped. I don't know if you can see that, but they're a little dome shaped, so flat edge out towards you, and then the dome shaped inward, so that way they'll sit flush. Twisted. So that's a pretty simple repair. If you have questions, feel free to contact us at diffuserdoc.com. Doc at diffuserdoc.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. The discs are available. I'll put a link below in the description. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe to our channel. And check us out on Facebook. And thank you for watching.